Hi everyone and welcome to Screams After Midnight, the horror movie podcast here on the Mild Fuzz Podcast Network. I'm Peter Bradley. I'm joined by Tim Vargulish.
Yo, what up?
And Joseph Kohler's here.
Hello.
Possibly dying, like characters in the movie we're going to talk about.
Possibly.
So, this is the horror movie show here on the Mild Fuzz, and every week we talk about a horror movie from the past to the present. This week was supposed to be The Witch. It was supposed to be that, but my theatre decided not to start showing it till the following week. So, next week, fingers crossed, we should be talking about The Witch. However, this week we're going to talk about Pet Sematary, the movie based on the Stephen King book, which was released in 1989 and directed by Mary Lambert. So, this was Tim's idea to do this one.
Yeah.
I don't usually let people pick things, but I had no idea what to do this week because I was so set in The Witch for like this week for months that.
And like every time you face a crisis, I come to the rescue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I lift up your tiny wee body in my big old arms, and I say, shh, it's okay, it's gonna be okay. I got a movie.
You are the wind beneath my wings, Tim.
Thank you.
I had seen this once a couple of years ago, and I'm going to be honest, watching it again, my opinion of it's degraded somewhat.
Same here. Haven't seen it in years.
I was not prepared when I put this on. I literally just finished watching it before we came on to record, so it's fresh in my head. That said, I'll remember no names. I'm terrible with character names, but I was not prepared for some of the silly cheesiness that is there on some of this movie. Now, that's not to say that it's a terrible movie. It's not. There's actually, a decent amount of stuff to like, but there's a lot of little things that all add up.
That's a product of being the 80s Stephen King.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, the acting's just not that great. I think that's a big issue. I think I don't know if I said full spoilers, but I'll say it. Full spoilers for the movie, as always on this show. But the acting, particularly from the main guy, the doctor, I didn't really buy into for most of the movie. Most of the times when he's meant to be getting proper, like, serious or emotional, it comes off as really goofy. The main one that I'm thinking of is when the kid gets killed and it cuts to the close up of him going, no! And it's so cheesy. And just, I was kind of upset, actually, watching this. Because I was like, I remember this being okay. And it's not really.
Well, I'll let you guys in on something. I have a pretty big soft spot in my heart for this movie just because I have a very vivid memory of when I first saw it, which was I don't know what year it was, but I was like a little kid and I had stayed home from school sick one day, and I was going through my brother's VHS collection because he had a ton of movies and he had this on, and I really wanted to watch it, but I was like super scared. But then I spent like the whole afternoon psyching myself up for it. And then, I finally watched it, and, not even like I watched it, late at night when it was dark or anything. It was, middle of the afternoon, super bright out, but it still, scared the bejesus out of me. Granted, I was probably, I don't know, 10 or 11 or something. Actually, probably even younger than that. But
that seems to be a prime area for this film.
Yeah. But I've always had, a soft spot in my heart for it just because I have such a vivid memory of the first time I watch it, and there's still some stuff that still freaks me out. Mostly the sister Zelda, that scene when they're going with that flashback to her. I don't know. It's just very unsettling to me. Something about the way she looks.
You say unsettling. I would say it's unsettling, but I'd say it's unsettling in a really goofy, this isn't good way.
Yeah, no, I disagree with that. I think it's...
I think the sister stuff may have been the worst part of the movie.
Oh, I disagree. I think it's kind of is it definitely necessary to the movie? No, it is kind of like a weird thing that comes out of nowhere, but I think it is freaky and adds to the charm of it.
I don't know. Again, I think acting's part of this. Acting and the way it's directed, but the way the crazy sister is screaming things at this kid is just, I don't know.
Like she's like screaming and lunging at him, and I don't know, like it's a cheesy horror movie from the '80s. I think it works.
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know.
Well, you don't have to agree. I'm just saying what I
Yeah,
think.
I'm not
I
agreeing.
don't care.
I'm not agreeing.
Uh,
Um. So yeah, you got the acting right. That's first and foremost. I did not think the acting was good. Most of the time.
mhm. What about the
Es-
special effects? Like
Those are probably the
the
highlight, particularly the
yeah,
ending with the wife coming back.
and
And
the ghost of that kid that dies at the beginning.
yeah, that
I
was
thought,
fine. Yeah, the makeup
Oh,
effects are
Victor.
fine. Yeah.
yeah.
Those are pretty on point, I think.
Mhm.
But the dad as a character as well is really like nothing really drives for me. It feels really
Yeah.
clunky the way it's written because they try and set up that he's got this really pessimistic view of things because it starts like, oh, I'm not going to promise the kid that the cat's going to be okay when he's getting neutered because there's like a 1 in 1,000 chance that the gas might kill him. First of all, I have cats. I don't want to hear that. Thankfully, they're all neutered already. I don't have to worry about it now. But I'm saying, don't put that thought in my head. That's just like really pessimistic. And then like it just the way he kind of flips, and every time like death and faith is brought up, it's like the movies try to have these deep conversations about it, and it's just
And we all know you like, shallow schlock. You can't appreciate cinema that tries to, uh, bring itself to a higher plane. We get that, Pete. We understand. That's fine.
well, I think that's my problem though. I think it's trying to be deeper than it should be. Like you're saying, it's an '80s cheesy horror movie, but for
Yeah.
me, it's trying to not be, or at least it shouldn't be. It's a movie about a kid getting killed and the dad desperately trying to bring him back to. It feels like it should be taking itself a lot more seriously, and I feel like it's trying to, but it's kind of failing.
I don't know. I never got the. Um,
Because
again, maybe.
like seriously, see when the kid jumps down at him at the end from the attic, and he's
Yeah.
got like this prosthetic or whatever on his face, like he's not. It
Yeah,
looks so
that's.
laughably bad.
I wouldn't say it looks good, but I wouldn't say it's like the worst thing I've ever seen. But I think. All right, I'm not gonna say that those aren't valid criticisms. You do have a point, but I think you are crazy if you cannot give it up for the real star of this movie, which is the neighbor, Judd.
He's all right. Yeah.
Oh, from the monsters.
He's fucking awesome, man. He steals the show. Every line out of him is golden.
Well,
Just the way he
Creepy
talks.
cats.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I'd say it was golden. I'd say he has very good presence. The actual
Yeah.
dialogue he speaks for the most part is gibberish.
Which is
But
It's
great.
Maine. It's Maine.
He just starts talking
Yeah.
about, oh, the soil of a man's heart's darker, and like, what the fuck are you talking about? This means nothing.
You gotta
Nothing.
agree, though.
What?
You gotta agree, though. You're gonna sit here and tell me that the soil of a man's heart isn't dark and rocky? Then you, sir, are a liar or not in touch with your own heart. That's what I have to say to that.
Almost everything he says is
Sometimes
just
dead is better.
gibberish. He speaks
Nah.
gibberish.
He is great. I would be fine if he was in every horror movie.
Oh dear. Also,
Yeah.
I loved it when because they sort of teased the kid getting hit by the truck at the start,
Yeah.
and Judd picks him up. I thought, man, that truck driver didn't even like after he almost hit the kid, he didn't even stop to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see." Like, he just kept going. He just sped past. Didn't care.
Truck drivers are assholes. Have you ever seen a truck driver in a movie that wasn't an asshole? Maybe Jack Burton in Big Trouble in Little China, but
And even then, he is kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
He's just a likable asshole.
yeah.
So yeah,
I just think that's a simple fact of life that we have to assume.
yeah, truck drivers are assholes. That's fair. Most people here think the same about bus drivers, particularly when they're driving. They think people who drive buses think they rule the road, so they don't have to adhere to the same rules as everyone else.
I think they're God's gift to women or something. Yeah.
My mother's a bus driver, so I take offense.
Hey, I have no opinion on the matter whatsoever. I just like the idea that the that bus drivers have this god complex that they rule the road. Oh dear.
I like that that's a thing. Um, but yeah, so you got that. You got the. I just like the overall. I like the uh, like kind of idea and story of this about this, you know, burial ground where people can come back, and it's kind of, you know, next to this like creepy little kids pet cemetery with all these like makeshift graves and stuff. I've never actually read the actual Stephen King story, but that's one I'd like to try to go to
It's a very
sometime.
quick read. It's about as short as Carrie. You could probably finish it in a couple of hours.
Oh,
About
okay.
200 pages.
Yeah, that's one I'd like to visit at some point.
I think
But
I can't remember the backstory to it, but there was like a near-death experience with one of his children, and that's when Stephen King wrote it.
oh, oh, interesting.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I have to say, watching this again, I really wasn't feeling it. I was noticing the bad way more than I was really enjoying much of it. That's not to say it's terrible. I mean, I give Tim shit for things like Sinister 2. It's nothing like that. I mean, it's it's a average sort of 80s movie with really silly moments. I think.
Has some charm.
Yeah, there's some charm. I don't think it's devoid of that.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, like I can't really argue with that, and you know, I like it, but again, I'm not saying it's like the best movie I've ever seen. You
I mean,
know,
it's like
it's not like my top 10 horror or anything.
Yeah, it's not Sinister 2.
uh,
No, I never said that.
no,
You guys always act like I love Sinister 2. I just said it was better than what you guys were giving it credit for the
it's
record.
It's like just earlier. Obviously, this isn't horror, but I was talking to someone about Superman 3, and I actually have quite a soft spot for Superman 3. Regardless of its faults, I think it has some great moments in it.
Yeah.
But I'm not like delirious about it. Like, I'm,
Yeah,
I have perspective on the matter. It's not a great movie,
yeah.
and that's kind of, I guess this falls into that category for you. Whereas for me, maybe if I'd have seen this as a kid, I'd have
Yeah.
the nostalgia.
There's a few movies like that where, for me, where it's like, at this point, I've watched so many horror movies. I'm, you know, pretty desensitized to them. So, you know, there isn't like a lot that like scares me nowadays, like when I watch stuff. So I know, I guess I have like a soft spot for these movies that I saw as a kid that like scared me back then, because I, you know, kind of remember the like classic scenes that like freaked me out or whatever.
Yeah. That said, though, it's funny that you thought this was really scary when you were a kid, because I don't think it's actually that.
I mean, just when I first saw it, it's just the sister really freaked me out. For some reason, and you're probably gonna say this is goofy too, but like the flashback to like that first guy who brought his son back,
Yeah, that was goofy.
uh,
Yeah.
like
I thought that
for
was
some
funny.
reason, just like the shot of him like just like freaking out while the house was on fire. Again, that freaked me out as a kid. And then also like the little boy Gage, you know, when he comes back, you know, and he's kind of just like, you know, running around with the scalpel, and he's just kind of like,
Do
you
you
know,
know,
like,
I don't think I've ever heard of someone being called Gage before.
Mhm.
It's just, I actually think it'd be a great name for an action hero.
Yeah,
How badass does that sound? I'm
it is a
Gage.
good name. I I agree, 100%.
I'm Gage
Uh,
Johnson. My middle name's
um,
Danger, because of course it is.
but yeah, just like those scenes, like where he's like, and again, now I can see how it, you know, it comes off as goofy, but like, you know, at the time when I saw it, when it's just like, you know, you know, first I played with, you know, mommy, now I'm gonna play with you, like that just, you know, creeped me out as a kid and stuff.
Yeah. I love how at the end that he's like, I'm going to resurrect my wife. I'm going to take her down. Fuck
Yeah,
the old man. The old man can just be there with his Joker smile, lying there dead.
yeah.
But I'm going to take
At this
the.
point, he's like full on bonkers, and just
Yeah.
her coming back with like just the pus oozing out of her eyes, like so disturbing. But this is what I love, the genius of this, which I think every movie should do. So like you just had like all this, you know, crazy horror stuff happen, all these people die, and then, you know, the wife comes back, and then like, you know, they're kissing, and then, you know, she picks up the knife and just about to kill him, and then right as it does that, it just cuts to black, and then they just start playing like the cheesiest Ramones song that like summarizes the whole movie.
Yeah, it's really upbeat, isn't it?
Yeah, which I think that's like so perfect for a horror movie because like it just like if you're all like scared and freaked out, then you can just have this like palate cleanser just that just comes on and you're just completely like, oh, never mind,
Yeah.
life
Don't
is
get me wrong.
silly.
I get why a lot don't do that kind of thing because you do sometimes you want that somber mood to like sink
Oh
in at the
yeah,
end.
if it
And,
was a more serious movie,
yeah,
yeah,
and you'd want the sort of the chilling quiet almost to come in. I
yeah.
do have to admit though, I do actually quite like the Everyone song, which is they wrote
Oh
for the
yeah, me
movie.
too. Yeah, there's another really good Stephen King movie called Cat's Eye, where like they do the pretty much the same thing at the end of the movie. There's a really cool '80s like song title song. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I don't want to be too harsh on it because I don't think it's a bad movie per se, but
Yeah.
it just didn't. I don't know. It's
Well, I mean, you hate movies directed by women, so we get it. Yeah,
what?
it's understandable.
Oh,
Yeah.
What? Wait a minute. Last week we did Near Dark, and I fucking love Near Dark, and that's directed by a woman. What the hell are you talking about?
I know. And after the podcast, you said, "Now let's do a shitty one to really bring these girls down."
Tim, you're gonna get us in so much trouble. What?
Oh, come on, people know I'm kidding.
Speaking your lies.
I think it's a great movie. I think uh, it was superbly directed.
Excellent.
A man would have ruined
she
it.
went to go direct Mega Python versus Gatoroid 3.
Nice. So her career's on the upswing.
That's actually what Mary Lambert's done
That's part of a franchise. That's
I'm
the
I'm
ending
curious
trilogy.
now. I'm curious. Since that we've brought it up, let's see what Mary Lambert has went on to direct. She did some TV episodes. That's not surprising. That's quite
Music
common.
videos.
Music videos. She did do the sequel. She did Pet Sematary 2, which I've not seen.
It was
is
a straight to
awful.
DVD or straight to VHS kind of movie.
So bad. It does have Clancy Brown in it.
Um,
So
and
that's something.
she's also done a bunch of other direct-to-video and TV movies. She's done Halloween Town 2, and she's done
Oh, I like that.
Urban Legends Bloody
The
Mary.
Return of Michael Myers.
Wait, was Bloody Mary the second one? No. I was like, no, this was like a third or fourth one that I'd never heard of. Never
What is
mind.
it?
That
Urban
se-
Legends, Bloody Mary.
Yeah. That series,
Oh,
I thought
they
that
made
was
more
like,
than one Urban Legends.
no, I knew there was a second one. Because the second one was called Final Cut, and it was set in
Final
a,
Cut, right?
it was set in a movie studio kind of thing set up, and it was terrible.
Well, so was the first.
The first not good, but I liked the first one when I seen it. But keep in mind, I was like 9. Like,
Same here. I saw it on 13 Nights of Halloween on ABC Family.
But like, yeah, I'm sure if I went back and watched Urban Legend now, I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's like
Oh,
late 90s slasher crap. And I like slasher movies, but late 90s, like Scream's great, but all the knockoffs that came out after Scream, oh dear, oh dear.
Your catchphrase.
Is that? I don't think that is my catchphrase, but Tim's determined to
Oh,
make
it
that
is.
my catchphrase.
It is.
It's perfect for so many moments, though. Especially when you talk about horror movies.
Or having sex.
No, I will make a point not to say that when I'm having sex. Thank you very much. I suppose if you inflect it slightly differently, oh dear, like
Yeah.
you get the right tone.
Especially if you're making love to a deer. Which is
Especially yes. I want nothing to do with that business though. Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
So
I'm trying to bring it back to animals.
yeah.
Oh, that's one thing I should say. Also, from time to time, like if I'm feeding my cat something special, when I give him the food, I will say it's Thanksgiving for cats.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's no. Yeah, as a cat person, as someone who owns multiple cats, I hate seeing cats be hurt or anything.
So
in
would
movies.
you bury them in the pet cemetery?
Well, no, because they'll come back wrong. Also, this concept I feel was done better in Buffy.
I don't remember that episode.
Although I'd have to get into serious spoilers to say who it is and whatever, but someone is attempted to be brought back to life, and they bring up that they'll come back wrong, and it's handled with a lot more tact and depth than this was.
Xander.
No.
Is it Xander?
It wasn't Xander.
When did Xander die?
We're not going to... Xander didn't die. We're not spoiling Buffy. We're getting off this.
Yeah, let's not spoil that 14-year-old TV show on a podcast about horror movies.
There's no statute of... seriously. I'm not saying that you have to be super sensitive, but there is no reason to start talking about who dies multiple seasons into a TV show just randomly without warning. There is a simple etiquette of just being considerate to other people who might not have watched it yet and might binge it at some point.
I agree. I
Like me.
agree completely.
Never seen it.
Exactly.
Oh, but you watch
Never
House
seen
of
a
Cards? For shame.
Yes.
Ah, dear. Alright, well, I think we've spoke about the movie as much as we're going to, because we seem to be tangent into other things.
I spoke about other stuff too.
Pets and cemeteries and all sorts of shenanigans. Alright, so let's get to some ratings. So, I don't know. Dead kids. How many dead kids out of 10 are we going with here? What? It's thematic. It's thematic. Alright, since Joseph looks like he's dying, you go first, Joseph. How many dead kids out of 10?
Well, as a father, this movie should have hit me a little closer to home. Trying to imagine if Atticus ran out into the road. But I kind of go with Peter. There's some charm. It's kind of cringeworthy, though, rewatching it so many years after my first time. It's probably around 6 dead kids out of 10.
Timmy, how many dead kids out of 10?
Well, I think I do agree with what you guys are saying, but I do think that I like it considerably more. But I'm not gonna lie and say that a lot of it probably doesn't come from nostalgia and that sort of thing from seeing it when I was really young. And I'll admit I am a little Stephen King biased. I like almost everything he's done, some of even the really bad stuff. So I'm actually going to go ahead and give this a pretty high score. Not a perfect 10 out of 10, but I'll give it an 8.
Okay. I'm actually going to be the lowest here because I'm going to give it 5.5 dead kids out of 10. So maybe that sixth
One of the
was...
kids got ran over in half, but
Yeah, he
survived.
got halved. We don't know what the other half of the body is, so 5.5. It's not terrible. It's very... I mean, you could see things to like in it. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it.
It's cool, baby. It's not for everybody.
Thank you, Tim. You're an
I think Jen
understanding
has to
soul.
say that quite a bit.
Yeah. You're
Well, I mean,
understanding
if I'm the only one with taste, it's gotta.
That's just you wait and see. Just you wait and see. All right, so that'll bring an end to the show this week. You can, of course, let us know what you think of Pet Sematary in the comments below on YouTube, or you can tweet at us at mailed_fuzz. Email is mailfuzz@gmail.com if you're listening to the audio version. But you can, of course, find all of us elsewhere. Joseph, as he's dying, can maybe just get out one more sentence. Where can people find you?
I can be found on Twitter at jkohler_93, Letterboxd at jm_kohler, and jkohler_93 on Reddit.
Oh, okay. There you go. That was a nice summary of social medias. Tim, where can the good people find you?
Pretty much any social media thing. It's at Tim Vargulish, and you can check out facebook.com/goatmancomics for my comic stuff.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter and other social media places at Wibble89. You can also find me and other folks on the other shows we have here in the network, such as on the same channel on YouTube, Mailed Fuzz Movies, you'll find the 1.21 Gigawatts Movies podcast. We talk about lots of movies. We do news every week and talk about the new trailers that come out and all that every time. So that goes up every Monday. You also, of course, get that in iTunes and Stitcher as well. Plus, if you're into TV or video games, we've got channels for those as well. You can go and check those out. So, but of course,
Not a lot of people are into those, so.
Nah, not a lot of people. They're quite niche. Whereas horror's a big thing. So if you only care about horror movies, you can stay here. We appreciate that anyway. Help out the show by giving us likes and thumbs up and 5 stars and comments and sharing us on Twitter and whatever else people do. with things they like on the internet. Is there a hidden message on the bottom of your cup, Tim?
Yeah, it's just my initials and then a heart and then my girlfriend's initials.
Sly.
Mm-hmm.
Sly.
Very sweet, yeah.
Did you do that without telling her so that you would take a drink of your mug and she'd see it and she'd be all flustered?
No, this I made this cup we went to this thing together where you can make cups. But it would have been nice to surprise her with it, though. I wish I thought of that. But
Well.
I think I immediately did it and then like shoved it in her face. Like, look at it, see, I did
That's it. You got to have some theatricality to these things. Like seriously,
Okay, Liam.
sometimes romancing a woman is a lot like making a movie. You have to sometimes withhold some information so that the reveal is spectacular.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
You know. Yeah. They'll set up and pay off, right? If you're smart, you can set up something early on in the relationship so that when you pay it off, like in your wedding vows, and it hits them hard because it's
Just like spoiler alert, you don't want to ruin that. I got you. That's smart.
you don't tell them. You keep it in you set it up and you pay it off. Because that's what people appreciate. They appreciate long-term planning. Anyone can do something in the spur of the moment. Oh, I bought you some flowers, right? But no, if you set something up that you don't pay off like a year or 2 years, that's commitment.
Yeah. Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Come back next week for more love tips from your favourite ghouls and ghosts from Screams After Midnight. We love you lots, guys. Keep watching scary movies, and we'll see you next time.
Sweet.